Every year, millions of Americans get stuck with surprise medical bills. Tonight, Bob Siegel and Allison Gormley are in studio. We're going to talk about their special report coming up tonight on 13 News at 11. Also, you dressing your dog or cat up on Halloween? You got a costume for your pet? Let us know. In fact, if you've already taken a photo of your pet with a Halloween costume, go ahead and post that there in the comments section, because wait until you see what Logan Gay's dog is dressed up for Halloween. That's all part of our coverage tonight. And we're 100 days to the Winter Olympics. I'm going to give you a special report preview of our trip to New York's Chinatown, let you know how the pandemic has really impacted that historic neighborhood. That's all coming up tonight here on a special edition of Meta Live. Yeah. It's not Meta Live. It's always Facebook Live. Even if the company changes its name to Meta, we're calling it Facebook Live. So it's good to be with you here on this Thursday night. It is a rainy night, and it's been kind of a rainy day, though I stepped outside and it looks like it's just sort of wet out there. I haven't seen any rain yet.
No, the steady rain from earlier today is gone. So live Doppler 13 radar is going to show us the majority of the steady rain up to the north. So we're getting a bit of a break right now. I've got it in motion over the last hour so you can see who's getting the steadiest rain and how this rain is moving from southeast to northwest. We have rain from Muncie up to Marion into Peru and Wabash, and that's where we find the pocket of steadier rain. However, as I expand the view, you can see we're not done with this storm system yet, but it is interesting to track the spin in the atmosphere. We've got an area of low pressure sitting across basically eastern sections of Missouri, and everything circulates counterclockwise, which is the reason we have the rain moving from southeast to northwest when typically we see our storms and rain move from west to east. Not the case today, and once we get on the backside, that won't be the case tomorrow either. The rain will be moving from northeast to southwest. So kind of interesting as we track the center of this storm system really close to central Indiana, and a large storm system that extends from parts of eastern Kansas all the way through the western sections of Pennsylvania. They're dealing with rain and storms along the east coast and all the way south into South Florida. For us, we're not forecasting any severe weather, but keep the rain gear handy. Off and on rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Friday looks pretty soggy as we're still going to be dealing with this weather system. The good news, as we hit the weekend, we're going to start to dry things out. Possibility of a stray shower Saturday, but Halloween still looks pretty good with a high of 60. Scott?
In the past couple of years, Indiana lawmakers have passed 2 new laws to help prevent surprise medical bills. But 13 Investigates has discovered this problem is still happening. So the big question for us is why? And how do you make sure you don't get stuck with one of these huge bills? Our consumer reporter Allison Gormley and investigative reporter Bob Siegel are teaming up tonight at 11 to tackle this issue. They join me here on Facebook. They've got some answers. So Allison, let's start with how do these surprise bills happen?
So what happens is you book a procedure and you go in for it and you're like, everything is fine. But a couple weeks later, you get a big bill because some portion of that procedure, whether it was maybe the doctor or the facility, was actually out of network.
So, Bob, isn't Indiana supposed to have stopped this thing from happening?
Yeah, Indiana is one of several states that actually passed new laws. Actually, we've got 2 new laws in just the last couple of years to help protect consumers from these types of bills. But we discovered there are loopholes in some of those, and also the legislature decided to delay portions of some of the most important protections that consumers get right now, and that's why patients are still getting these types of bills.
So what are hospitals saying about these huge bills?
The hospitals actually say that these surprise medical bills have little if nothing to do with the hospitals. They say these are disputes that take place between private insurers and private doctors, and the hospitals and the patients are the ones who are getting stuck in the middle. And that's exactly what happened to Elise Raw. She is a woman who lives here in the Indianapolis area. She contacted us a few months ago because she had a colonoscopy at a hospital in Carmel, and she found out ahead of time that the facility was in network, the doctor was in network, and yet about a month later she gets the bill. Everything was supposed to be covered. She got a bill for $5,000.
Wow.
And I think we can all relate to that. And the reality is this is happening to millions of Americans every single year, which is why there's so much urgency to try and figure all this out.
So our Facebook audience is sitting there trying to figure out, okay, this is pretty scary to get one of these surprise bills. Allison, how do patients make sure that this doesn't happen to them?
Well, I mean, while a crystal ball would probably be pretty helpful in this circumstance,
exactly.
it comes down to asking the right questions and really reducing your chances of this happening. So tonight we're going to go over your legal rights and what those questions are. We talked to Caitlin Donovan, who is with the National Patient Advocate Foundation, and she gives some really good practical advice, and also what she did when she went into the hospital, which is one of my all-time favorite stories of how to protect yourself, and I can't wait to do it myself one day.
Yeah, this is such an important topic. I know that we've got Facebook viewers right now who probably have gone through similar things. They've had huge bills happen and they've been surprised. And we want to make sure that we're arming our Facebook viewers with the knowledge. And so this is an important story that we'll see tonight.
And Scott, I'll point out by saying that a recent study here showed that as many as 2 out of every 5 patients who go to an in-network facility end up getting a bill for out-of-patient services, that surprise that we're talking about. So this really does. It impacts so many folks that we're talking about here.
Okay, you're going to see this important story coming up tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. Also tonight at 11, we're headed to Chinatown in New York. We're gathering stories about China in America for our Olympic coverage that starts in February. As you may know, the Winter Olympics are in Beijing, China. The pandemic prevents us from actually going over to China. So I spent a week in Manhattan, wandering through Chinatown, checking out all the great shops and restaurants, which frankly right now are empty because the pandemic has ravaged this part of Manhattan. Many of the historic shops and businesses have had to close, which is very, very sad for this area. So we're going to be talking about this tonight as part of our special coverage looking at China in America. I can tell you the ones that have survived, they really are survivors. And the food is amazing still. I mean, you just can't find that kind of food anywhere else in the country other than Chinatowns. And we're going to be spending time out in San Francisco, going to Chicago, and talking to Asian Americans and finding out, you know, a little bit about their culture, learning about their music, and all that's to come coming up here in February.
That's crazy. We're 100 days away from the Winter Olympics.
I know. Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
And I know I was getting excited watching our coverage today, thinking about, you know, all of the great, you know, ice skating and hockey and downhill skiing. And so, you know, China is the first city, Beijing is the first city to ever host a winter and a summer Olympics because back in 2008 they had the summer games.
Okay, well, what I found interesting, and I love all of those sports, but the one I kind of got hooked on last time was the one where they skate around and then they shoot at targets.
Oh yeah, is that the biathlon?
I don't know
I
what
think
it's
that's
called.
the biathlon.
But I found myself really interested in
They've
that.
got a rifle on the back and they're doing cross-country skiing and then they do the target shooting.
Amazing
Yeah, that is amazing. So all that's to come. You're going to see all of that over on Channel 13 beginning on February 4th with the opening ceremony. Okay, so do we have the costume, the dog costume?
To go.
Okay. So last night we were talking with Logan Gayer a couple of nights ago on Facebook, and we mentioned to her, hey, do you have do you have a costume for your dog? And she said yes. And so I got an email today from Logan and her family. They have dressed up their dog, and here it is. It is one of the cutest costumes you're ever going to see. So this is Hansel. Hansel is a Highland Terrier dressed up like a mailman.
Oh,
He's got the letters in his left hand.
That's awesome.
That is so great. I love this costume so much.
I do too. And I believe they do it in honor of Logan's dad
right.
that worked for the post office, retired from the post office.
Yeah, so I just thought what a beautiful dog. And Logan shared with us that Logan's family adopted this dog, Hansel, 10 years ago. He was apparently the rut of the litter.
He looks small.
But he's apparently the best dog you could ever imagine having, and he loves to travel, and he is really good at delivering the mail.
Well, and he's obviously very patient to let them, dress him up. Chewy would have no part.
So have you had no Halloween in history where Chewy is dressed up?
I think Mark's mom at one point bought, because the kids both love SpongeBob, bought a SpongeBob sweater to put on Chewy. She hated it.
Okay.
Hated it. And this is the same dog that I bought the dog bed for.
Right.
That's not working. I've put a blanket down, and I spied on her today, not even using the blanket. She still sits on the hard rug outside of the garage door.
Is it because she can't see it, or she's more comfortable?
I don't have any idea.
You have no idea.
No. But
have the tummy problems gone away
yes,
for?
she feels much better
for
today.
Chewy?
Yes.
Okay, that's
and
good.
Hansel,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that way to go, Logan Gay and the Logan Gay family. That is really a cool
Oh, and
thing.
hey, send us or put some pictures. You know, we have ways that you
Yeah.
can interact as viewers on our app. If
Right.
you've got some cool, you know, pet costumes or whatever,
Right.
put them on our app, and we'll try to get that content maybe
Exactly.
uploaded and maybe share a few tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a really good
Or
idea.
post them here and we can pull them off
Yeah,
Facebook.
exactly. So let's go ahead and see what, let us see what people, Michael is with us tonight. Michael, thank you for the kind words. Tanya is saying, let's see, thank you, it's just me, never thought I'd be doing this. All right, I'm not really sure, Tanya, what you're referring to.
Joyce is with us from Versailles. She's a regular.
Oh, good. It's good to have
hello,
Joyce
Joyce.
back.
She commented early.
Logan saying, or Glenn saying, Logan Gay's dog is a great costume. Tanya saying, ah, so cute. Teresa, as you mentioned, is with us. Renita saying, so cute. Wes is with us tonight. So we want to thank all of our Facebook or Meta viewers tonight. Okay.
But then they clarified it and said it's just the corporate
it's the
name or
corporate
something
name,
like
right,
that.
yeah.
Which,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
but
So,
everyone in Indiana immediately, well, and probably what he played for LA as well, right?
Meta
Ron
World Peace,
Artest.
Ron Artest.
Everyone immediately thought, did Facebook check with Ron?
Right. I can
been
hardly
done.
wait to see what Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, has to say about Facebook changing its corporate name to Meta,
To him.
M-E-T-A.
Yeah. He did it first.
No, it's kind of funny. All right, so wake up weather tomorrow?
Wake up weather, it is going to be raining and will be in and out of rain all day long, even for high school football games, pumpkin patches, haunted houses. You're getting
Yeah.
last Halloween fun out,
Right,
Zoo
right,
Boo,
right.
all of those things. Just be prepared for some rain.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for joining us here on Meta Live. And we want to encourage you to join us tonight on 13 News at 11. We've got that special report that Bob and Allison are working on. We're going to do the look at Chinatown and, of course, Angela's 7-day forecast, all coming your way tonight in 45 minutes over on 13. Good night.